Data-driven testing. Okay, in detail about the data-driven testing we will study in our today's class. So what exactly this data-driven testing is, why we are going for this data-driven testing concept. So in simple terms we can say that accessing the data from any external files, we can call it as a data-driven testing. Yeah, we know that. We can access the data from any external files whatever we have. So there are multiple ways in order to perform the data-driven testing. Here is the list. We can get the data from a files which is having an Excel extension, Excel SX extension. We can get the information from a text file. We can get the information from a properties file, and we can get the information from a CSV file too. Okay, we can get that information from a CSV file too. Fine. So these are all the various kinds of, these are all the various kinds of data-driven testing approaches we have. Okay, so these are all the various kinds of data-driven testing approaches we have. So in order to handle this one, so let's start our session with the first one, which is getting the data from an Excel file using an XLS reader. Okay, using an XLS reader. So how this is going to work? The XLS reader concept is going to work. So we need to add one external jar file, which is JXL jar file. Okay, we need to add this JXL jar file to write down your test script. So we do have all the jar files with us. So to our projects, I am adding a new jar file by going into a build path, a configure build path, add external jars. I'm selecting this JXL jar and I hit this OK button. Okay, so and I hit this OK button, which created this system. Fine. After that, create a new test script for us. So my test script number is gonna be 38. So here web 38 with the main method. Okay, so web 38 with the main method. Okay, so the next point is so the next point what we need to do is, once after we specified up to here, the next point is I need to specify where exactly my Excel file is, or else prior that I need to create an Excel file. So here I am entering my data as Ramya 1, Kavya 1, Daya 1, Sneha 1, Ramya 2, Daya 2, Sneha 2. So I would like to enter the information, hence I am dragging these cells. But the point out over here is I need to save this file, but the first and foremost thing is we added a JXL jar file which will support only XLS formats only. Hence, while saving our test scripts, we need to give proper extension. Okay, while saving our test script, we need to give a proper extension. So save, I'm trying to save it in my D drive, and here I'm giving this a name as Daya. In this, save as Excel 97/2003 workbook. I changed this one as an Excel 97/2003 workbook. So if you go to the D drive and right click on a dia, if you observe, it's gonna save as an Excel S extension. That's it, great. Once after we specified this one, we created a file, we saved the file, and then we need to pass the Excel file information in your program. For that, we need to use a few set of Java commands. The first and most important thing which we need to concentrate out over here is basically we need to specify the file location, and then we need to open that particular file. As you know that in an Excel file there are multiple sheets are there, in which sheet your data is, and within the sheet there are multiple cells are there, in which cell our test data is. We need to specify all these information. Okay, we need to specify all this much of information to your test script. Okay, we need to specify this much of information to a test script. So here what I'm gonna do right now, let me open my previous project for our reference. So Ujma web. So here we need to go for these data driven testing. So data using a JXL, data using a POI. Fine. So here I'm using file input stream FIS is equal to new file input stream. Specify the file location D drive dia.xls. That's it. I just specified my file location and I am importing this file from Java. Okay, so I am importing this file from my Java. So done, guys. I just specified this stuff. So file input stream FIS is equal to new file input stream. Once after you specified that, within that particular file there are workbooks. So workbook dot get workbook of this file. So complete the workbook's information, get it and store it in an WB, and later from the workbooks I'm getting the sheet. So here in this one, sheet number, row number, column number will start from 0th index. So here to select the first sheet, I am giving it as a 0th index, sheet S is equal to. And this is the sheet which I need to import from a JXL, and from the sheet I would like to get SL information. So for this you need to pass two parameters. For this get cell we need to pass column count and as well as a row count. So I'm giving it as a 0, 0 dot get contents method. So here get cell method will select the cell, get the contents method will get the contents from the selected cell. Okay, this will get the contents from the selected cell. That's it. Done up to here, guys. Okay, so that's it. Done up to here. So once we are done up to here, the next point of what I need to do is, okay, so once after you have specified this much of information, okay, it is getting that particular contents, string v is equal to system.out.println, text from the Excel file is plus V. So let me run my program and see what a V is returning. So here my requirement is 0th column, the first column, 0th row, the common value is Ramya 1. When I executed that script, it should print Ramya 1. So in the Excel file, if I would like to go for Sneha 3, if I would like to print 0, 1, 2, 3. 3 is the column number. So I changed the first value as a 3 and switch to the rows 0, 1, 2. Change this value to 2. So when we executed the script this time, it should return the highlighted value is a Sneha 3. See, the Sneha 3 got returned. For suppose my requirement is a Kavya 13. See here 0, 1. So which is in a second column. Hence I changed this column value to 1. And let me get the row number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So let me give this one as a 12. So when I run my test script this time, it should return Kavya 13. So like this. Like this, it got a returned these values. Okay, like this, it got returned these values. Okay, fine. Done up to here, guys. Is this point clear for everybody? Cool. Okay, fine. So once we are done up to here, the another point is I would like to get this Daya's column information. Complete the column information I would like to get it. So here I'm using a for loop now. For int I is equal to 0, I less than s dot get rows I plus plus. So here I am asking it to get the total number of rows. So s dot get cell of the column is the second column. So here the second column is 0, 1, 2. So for this entire column, I am changing the row value to I dot get contents. I am trying to store it in a string p is equal to system.out.println p. So when I run this particular script, it should return all the dia values to the console. So the ultimate point out over here is whenever you are specifying, the entire column, this is how you can use it. For suppose my intention is I would like to get Ramya to, Kavya to, Daya to, Sneha to. So where in which here the row is a common and the columns are changing. Hence I can use a for loop for int I is equal to 0, I less than s dot get columns. This time the columns is changing. S dot get cell of the column value is I and the row value is 1, and we are getting the contents and trying to store it in a queue. System.out.println queue. When I run this script, it will print all the 2 values, Ramya 2, Kavya 2, Daya 2 to the console. And here the scenario for your practice is, here we are getting the information and we are printing this queue to the console, right? Here enter this value in search field, bing.com search field. So it means above you need to write down a command which will launch a bing.com application, and here we can use this command to enter a value which is a driver.findElement by dot send keys of a p. So I need to pass a p as a send keys. That's it. I need to pass a p as a send keys. Fine. Done up to here. So this is all about accessing the data from an Excel file using an JXL jar file. Is this point clear for everybody, or do you have any questions for me on this? Okay, great. And even you have to practice this stuff from your end. Okay. And then the next point here is the next scripts, new class web 39 with the main method. In this scenario, guys, the basic difference is so far we have studied about data using a JXL jar file, and the next one is data using a POI jar file, which is an Apache POI jar file. So the significance of this Apache POI jar file is the purpose is one and the same, which is used to get the data from an Excel file. The basic difference is whatever the file Excel format is, we can get that information. So it means we can get the information from an Excel file, we can get it from an Excel SX extension, whatever the extension might be, we can get this one using this POI jar files. Okay, so in order to handle these POI jar files, we do have a customized class, okay, which is having all the data driven methods, and that particular class is an XLS reader class. So I'm copying this XLS reader class from my previous scripts and I am pasting that one to my project. So let me copy it once again. XLS reader class, XLS reader class, and I am trying to paste it here. Okay, and when you study this XLS reader class, it contains too many methods in that, like get the row count, get the cell data, get that much of information, put that information to a cell, like that. All these information is there. To work on this POI, Apache POI, even we do have some set of jar files which we need to add to our project. So I'm adding all those jar files, configure build path, add external jars, and here I want all the POI related jar files. So all the POI related jar files I added out here to my project. That's it. So here this XLS reader contains all the information. Now here the only thing is I'm creating an object to XLS reader as it contains the entire information. XLS reader. So we just created an object to this XLS reader class. For this particular class, we need to pass a parameter which is a file location. Okay, we need to pass this as a file location. So I don't want this dia as we are done with this script. So let me delete these codes and I want a new Excel file. Here I'm giving it as uname password. These two are my column names. In my sheet 2, I'm giving it as a first name, last name, mobile number. So here I have given a Okay, in my script, if you clearly observe here, in an Excel file, I have given this information, which is the column names. Okay, which is the column names I have given out over here. And now let me enter the data. Uname 1, password 1, password 2, uname 2. Let me drag this information till 14, and in the sheet 2, fname 1, lname 1, mobile 1, fname 2, lname 2, mobile 2, and drag this info 2. So both are having a similar sets of information till 14. Save this file. So I'm saving this one as RIA. I just saved this one as a RIA Excel. So the first one is for our identification as a column name. So uname, password, first name, last name, mobile number are for our identification. Okay, are for just for our identification itself. Now here I just need to pass it as D drive ria.excelSX. As I haven't changed the format, by default it's gonna go to an Excel SX. To cross check, I checked the properties and it's saved as an Excel SX itself. So I used this Excel SX here. After that, on this particular file, I would like to get the cell data. Okay, cell data. Here I'm using a sheet name. From which sheet you would like to get the sheet 1? Here I can specify the column name also. So here we can specify the column name from which you need to get that information. Sysout V1. Okay, so let me run my script and see what it is returning to the console. See, from the uname column, it returned the fifth, okay, it returned the fifth row. So here, from this uname column, it returned the fifth row, which is a uname got returned, uname 4 got returned. So it means here, within this particular POI jar files, we can identify the column names as well. With the column names also, we can identify the whole information. So here also I'm using a simple for loop. So for int I is equal to 2, I less than. So here I would like to get the total number of rows. So here ex dot get cell data from the sheet 1 from the column name uname. Okay, so I don't want to get the cell data, I would like to get the row count. Okay, for the row count I have given it as sheet name as a sheet 1. Sheet 1, I have given it as a sheet 1. From this sheet 1, I would like to get the columns information or else the total number of rows. The sheet 1 is one and the same. So int x is equal to I less than xi plus plus. So here what I'm doing right now, I would like to get that particular information. So here ex dot get cell data sheet 1 from the uname column, and here the row value as a I, string v2 is equal to sysout v2. When I run my test script, it's gonna get all the information till this uname 13. So uname 1, uname 2, uname 3, so on, all the values are got returned to the console. Okay, so far all these values are got returned to the console. Fine. So here we used this for loop to get this particular information. So this is a similar way how can we get that information from this Excel file. The basic difference between this data driven testing using a JXL jar file and a POI jar file is here we have one class which is having all the customized methods. So we just need to create an object to that class and we can access this information. Okay, and then we can access this particular information. Okay, we just need to create a class and then we can access this particular information. That's it. We just need to create an object to that class and we can access that particular information. Okay, so guys, is this a POI jar file clear for everybody? Or do you have any specific questions for me? Padma and everyone, am I clear for you all so far? Ria, Padma, Venkat, everyone, am I clear for you all? Cool. Ashok, okay. So the next point out over here is, okay, that's fine. So the next point out over here is this is the data driven testing concept, right? So let me copy this code. I'm copying the whole code and I'm creating a new program with the name as F40, Web 40. I just created a new code with the name as of 40. So from this 40 at the script, what I'm trying to do means a keyword driven testing. Okay, so what exactly this keyword driven testing is? Okay, so what exactly this keyword driven testing is? So what we are gonna do with this particular keyword driven testing means we are gonna pass a keyword. We are going to pass a keyword. Based on this keyword only, my data will pull from the Excel file. How come? How this is going to work? A simple example here is in this Web 40, starting u is equal to uname 10. See here guys, I already stored uname 10 in a variable u. Here we are getting that information. I am not printing that. If v2 dot equals ignore case of u, what does it means? Value whatever we are getting from Excel file is the same as value which we passed, or else this one I can change it as if the content present in a U is there in V2, then what I would like to do means system.out.println V2 and then ex dot get the cell data of sheet 1 from the password column ith row, and I am adding system.out.println. The same way here I am asking it to change the sheet and here change it to first name, change the sheet, change it to a last name, and in the second sheet change it to a mobile number. So when these two values are equal, then print the entire information related to this particular user. So when I run my test script as a Java application this time, see all the information related to 10th user got returned. For suppose I am defining as a uname 20. These two are not equal. Hence, when I executed my test script, it's not gonna return anything out over here. So it means based on the keyword of whatever we have passed, it is retrieving the information from an Excel file. This is a whole concept. We can call it as a keyword driven testing. Okay, this whole concept we can call it as a keyword driven testing. Okay, fine. Fine. Done up to here.
Surendra, can you just show me that Excel file once? Sorry, I just joined it late today. I just wanted to look at the Excel file.
Sure. So, 1 second. My Excel file is, this is the one. So the simple thing what I did means to my Excel file, I just created this. Okay. I just created these columns and an entire that information. That's it. Okay. Fine. Done up to here.
Okay, so what is the keyword you're passing, that keyword in the script?
See, if you observe the keyword I'm giving here as union 10.
Okay.
This union 10 is there in the file, that's why it is printing the whole input. Okay. For suppose if the union 10 is not there or else the other name. See, for suppose I have a given union 50. I know that this file doesn't contain the union 50 and it won't return these values. Okay. Hence it won't return these values at all to the
Okay.
Fine. Done up to here. So this is all about this data-driven testing using a POI related jar file and a keyword-driven testing as well. Okay, using a keyword-driven testing as well. Fine. Done up to here. So if you switch back, this is all about a POI driven data driven testing and a keyword driven. So how can we get a data from a text file and a properties file, and then how can we get the data from a CSV file? So these are the three different options. Text file, right? And then properties file. And then if we got the information in a CSV file, how can we get that information? So just give me a minute guys. So I just want to change this